Welcome back to another CT Farm Boys video. I don't know what I'm doing this video. It's been a long few months of no posting. It's been a long few months. School started and all of that. I bought a truck, and I have a few things I need to talk about with all of you peoples. I don't even think you guys know I sold my brand new dirt bike. I bought a whole bunch of things. I bought a truck. The most recent thing is the truck's broken. I bought a lemon, but I actually didn't buy a lemon. I bought a 26-year-old truck. So that turns out to have a few issues. So might as well show you guys the truck. It is a 1999 Ford Ranger XLT with a total of 110,000 miles. So, realistically, I can't pronounce that word. Realistically, that's pretty low. That's about 4,500 miles a year. It's 25, 26 years old. Actually, has the same birthday as me. I was born in March. Same thing as me. Anyway, the issue that I'm having with it, well, let's not get to that issue. I have, the things I've done to it so far is right here. I've added temperature gauge right there. So because the OEM one, the OEM one right there, that one does not work. The motor that turns the thing back and forth, it stopped working. Actually, when I bought the thing, it didn't work. And so that works pretty good. I actually tapped it right into there and then ran it through the firewall and all that. And I'll get to the point why the hood is off of it and there's stuff all around this. Anyway, so I've also fluid filmed the whole underbody of the truck. It is beautiful under there. It looks brand new. I mean, you can tell there's not a speck of, I mean, okay, there's a little bit of rust right there, but there's like no rust on the rocker rails. These rails are usually all rotted out. I mean, you could look at the wheel wells. There's like not even any bubbling. I mean, there is nothing bad. I actually just repainted this entire thing because there's a little bubble spot actually right here. You can still see it. I didn't do a perfect job, but yep, repainted all that. There's some marking right here, but I mean, it looks beautiful in here. Beautiful. Truck looks brand new from the factory. I mean, there's no rust in there. I've also, when I bought the truck, it was straight piped. So from the catalytic converter and back, it was bad. The previous owner, the original exhaust rusted off because, well, of course, it's a 26-year-old truck. That's going to happen. But it does have a brand new exhaust with a cherry bomb. So the truck's loud. As you can see, frame looks beautiful. It looks amazing under here. Rocker rails, not a speck of rust on these. I mean, the truck's immaculate. But fluid filming is practically a film, of course, that goes over the frame that stops rust from forming. And I mean, you guys can see, paint's in beautiful shape. I mean, yeah, you got the scratches, you got all these marks and all that, but I mean, there's a shine to it. Same thing with this side. Not a speck of rust on this. I mean, this thing's a showpiece. But here's the issue. The motor kind of crapped the bed on me. And that sounds pretty weird. Due to the fact, well, of course, because it pooped the bed, but the head gaskets blew. And if you don't want to know what those are, the head gasket separates the head, where the pistons are that go up and down that do the explosions, and the valves that open and close to let the exhaust out and let the air to gas mixture in. In between those is a metal gasket that separates the two. It also separates the oil from the coolant and the coolant from the motor. It separates all those. Not really the oil. It separates the coolant from the motor. So it lets the coolant flow through on a whole bunch of holes and all that. And I'll pop up a picture of what it looks like in the motor, because I don't have the thing. I haven't all ripped apart yet. All I did is took off the hood. But anyway, basically you have to remove all of this. What you see, gone. You have to get, actually, you have to get all the way down to there, like where the exhaust, the headers are. You have to, I mean, this is the valve cover right here. You have to remove the top of the head, and you have to get to the middle of the motor. So I have to rip apart practically half the motor. So it's a huge thing, but I will destroy this engine if I keep on driving it. As you guys can see, these are a few things to know if it is bad. I just did a radiator flush and an oil change. Few things. One, there's like no fluid down in there. It's like all gone. There's like nothing in there. I can't see anything. It should be like up to the top. It should be up to the top. Another sign is when the motor's running, it bubbles from right here, or not there, it bubbles from the coolant reservoir. As you guys can see, it's practically empty in there. This line right here is where it should be. It's all the way down there. And if it looks like a smoothie in there, if it looks like there's white bubbles on the top when it's running, and it does. When it's running, it does. And another sign is it smokes. It steams a lot from the tailpipe, which this does. It surely does. And this thing has no coolant leaks other than right down there where I replaced that blue gasket that you can see right there. I replaced that. You can see a little bit of wetness down there, but that is the only leak. But it would not remove 2 gallons. I mean, it probably could have, because it is pretty bad down there. But yeah, it was leaking from actually right here underneath this, which I tightened it up, but it's still, I think, leaking a little bit. It is. So I may have to remove this and clean it all out. So that's one thing. I'm gonna have to redo the coolant. Another thing, yes, okay, because the coolant could mix with the oil. And when I pull the dipstick, look what this looks like. That right there is not oil. This is a mixture of oil and coolant. And the line is at about that dot at the max line. The issue is when I did the oil change, it was at about half. I kept on meaning to fill the oil, and it was at a good level, and I didn't. And that's how I know it's also seeping in there. I'm gonna do more research on it because I don't know everything about this. The issues that I'm running in, money, that's always the issue. And the scariness of how much money I have into this machine. I have thousands of dollars into this truck. Mommy and daddy didn't buy it. I bought it. I don't owe anybody money yet. But yeah, it's a tough thing. It's either going to be I already have to do the oil. I already have to redo the coolant. I mean, that's already $100+ there in just fluids. And then that's about 10+ hours of work that I'm not going to have to do ripping this motor apart. And then last but not least is the kit that replaces every single gasket and every single thing. That's about $100 to $200. You don't want to cheap out on that. You do not want to cheap out on the gaskets, because that's what you're replacing. You don't want to cheap out on those. But you have to resurface the head. You have to resurface the head that you pull off. What I mean by that is it goes in to this little machine that grinds it down back and forth to make it smooth, like factory. The issue is that will cost me about $300 per head. There's 2 V6. So it's a 3-liter V6. Where is it? Well, I know it. 3-liter V6 EFI. There's one here, goes 3, and then there's one over here, goes 3. Unfortunately, now you got 2 heads. $300, easy math, $600. The issue is you could buy brand new heads for about $500, and those are really expensive ones. You can get like $300, $400, $500 ones. So No, I am not making this video out of anywhere to ask people, go buy me the heads for my truck, go buy me the fluids for my truck. No, because my plan is to document all of this and to show you guys the experience on how to do this. So I'm not asking for anything. Anyway, I'm gonna start ripping stuff out. Not in this video. This was just to let you guys all know what I've been up to. So that's about everything. But no matter what, I'm gonna have to get those heads resurfaced. But the issue is that those heads could also be cracked. And if they're cracked, then you need new ones. Now, the reason why this happens, 3 factors. Number 1, it's 26 years old. Number 2, it's 110,000 miles. Number 3, it most likely overheated in its life. Either I did it or the previous owner did. Because I did the coolant, the previous coolant looked like absolute crap. I could have overheated it while doing the coolant change. I radiator flushed it. So what that means is you empty out all the fluid from the radiator. This is the radiator. This is the radiator. It's right down there. It's poking right there. Yeah, okay, radiator, right here. Anyway, I flushed it out, and that means you flush out all whoa. I just got a brain fart. You empty out all fluids. The coolant that's in here, it's a 50-50 mix of coolant and water. That's what I bought. But anyway, I've now repeat the same thing like 4 times. Oh my goodness, I gotta take a breather. Anyway, and then you put water in it. You let it run. You keep on adding water. You let it run for like 10 minutes with the heat on full. And you have to do that about 3 times. And the last time, you put this special stuff in here that really eats away all the rust, because there is rust in here. And the issue is probably, I did not have that temperature gauge. That's right there. I did not have that temperature gauge. So that was most likely my issue. I probably overheated it at that time, and I didn't know since I did not have a temperature gauge. And guess this, I replaced both thermostats. I replaced that one right there, and I replaced that one right there. 2 of them. There's one that goes to the computer, and there's another one that goes to the gauge. And I figured out at the end that it was a gauge. Anyway, off topic. I already did all of that. The radiator's fine. I replaced all the coolant, so it shouldn't be low. And I added a lot of coolant to that, and I kept on adding. So this thing's been burning for a while. But anyway, yes, if it overheats, it may put too much stress on the head and in the motor that it may crack the head, or it may destroy the gasket. One of those 2 happened, you can't really tell. I'm gonna have to start doing more research, figuring stuff out. But like this, very overwhelming. I don't know what, I know what I'm looking at. Air intake, throttle assembly. Wait a minute, no, there's an, throttle assembly, throttle body, that's the word. Throttle body, ignition, you got the air conditioning, you got the air conditioning clutch thingy right here, that the compressor, that doesn't work actually, the air conditioning does not work. You got the alternator, you got all these things, you got wires, you got the brake master solenoid thing. Why did I just say the solenoid? Battery. Anyway, I'm just naming off things. So, what's happening? It's stressful times, and I'm gonna try and bring you guys along on the process. We already got the hood off. I got the hood off. But yeah, I'm gonna give it my best shot. Wish me luck. Bye-bye. Have a good afternoon.